to another episode of Ignite Your Power, the Kathy Mel podcast. I am so excited today to have a guest speaker on. Her name is Bre Michelle, and she is a mindfulness facilitator and coach. And I'm so excited and honored to have her here today. If you want to say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Yay! All right, so let's get right in. So, Bree, I'd love to start by learning a bit more about your personal journey. So, what first led you to the world of coaching, and how did you know this was your life path?
Ooh, I love that question because initially, when I was in high school, I took a cosmetology program, and all I wanted to do was help girls look really pretty and like feel pretty, feel better about themselves. And I quickly realized that I needed something more. I needed to go deeper. And I was also having like friends that would come up to me and they would ask me about their situations with their boyfriends and the parents and what they wanted to do, and I was like, we're all in the same boat, so I don't know why you're asking me. But I really did enjoy being supportive for them and just being that person that they felt safe coming to. And I thought about going into like psychology, becoming a therapist, but then I don't know, I just figured I wanted something that was more light and fluffy and fun. I didn't want the heavy stuff. Now there's obviously like a need for the heavy stuff, but I just didn't want to take all of that on. I wanted to keep it really fun. So after going to university, I decided to take some coaching programs and learn different modalities to help myself, but also to help others. And I've been doing that for a little while now and really enjoying it. And, again, it wasn't to initially like help other people with the coaching. It was more so to help myself, but it kind of has blossomed into this amazing way to really just show up and help people with their self-love and just encourage them in life.
Oh, I love that so much. It's such a beautiful story because I love how you already knew your passion right like in the beginning, like it took me a while to figure out like, oh, I can do coaching and I can actually make this a career and start coaching people because I was like you, all my friends and family would go to me for advice and I'm like, okay, I love to do that, right? But I was like, oh, you could actually get paid to do this and having a passion to do this as well is another blessing because for me, I was taught like, okay, you're gonna do a job that you're probably gonna hate, but it's
Mhm.
going to pay you well, right? This is what we're taught. And
Yeah.
so I'm just so happy that you already knew and you got support from your family, I'm sure, to just pursue what you wanted right from the get-go.
Yeah. Which was
Oh,
really nice. It was such a blessing to have their support from day one. And still to this day, like sometimes they don't understand every single little thing that I'm telling them, especially about all of the modalities and just everything that I have going on, but they are very supportive, which is really nice.
oh, I love that. That's awesome. I want to be like that for Gemma. I have a 2-year-old, and so I want to support her with whatever she wants at the get-go. Like I don't want her to stress about life and she wants to pursue her passions. I'm like, okay, I want to be the first like cheerleader for her. So that's awesome that you already got that.
Yeah.
So you talk about finding inner peace, which is something many people strive for, but often struggle with. So how
Mhm.
did you discover your own inner peace and what were the pivotal moments along the way?
Ooh, I feel like for my own inner peace, this happened a couple of years ago. I heard this saying from someone, and it was like, you have to slow down to speed up. And up until, yeah, it was literally like life changing. So up until that point, I was always like on the go. I did not rest. And it was like my head would hit the pillow at night and I would finally like go to sleep after all the thoughts and stuff kind of like started to dissipate. But I was just high energy, always doing things. And even when I would go to work out and do yoga, I didn't want restorative or yin, anything where I thought, no, I'm not really getting a workout in. Like I wanted like hardcore power vinyasa sculpt, like all of that stuff. And ever since hearing that simple short phrase, I kid you not. I literally, it was like, okay, I'm off the hook. I don't have to, do all this stuff anymore. I can just breathe and just be. And it's okay to slow down and to just kind of sit and just do quote unquote nothing. Um, and I still, have to remind myself that it is okay because it's in me to just keep going. I'm just, that kind of person. I'm just wired that way. But definitely, getting more inner peace and slowing down, becoming more mindful of myself, more compassionate of myself as well as others has really helped. And the way that I show up now is just it's different. I can see that if somebody does something that maybe I don't agree with, I don't like, it's just because they're going through something. It's not always about everyone else. Like it could be that they're just on their own path, their own journey, and they're going through something. And I just hold more compassion and love for them now than I did in the past. So that's been really, really insightful and helpful.
Oh, that is beautiful. That's a lot of awareness though. I call that awareness because you have to be aware of how others affect you. And if you don't let others affect you, then you have a lot of more inner peace. So that's what it sounds like to me, which is a lot of inner work that you've done, which is amazing. That's awesome. But
Yeah.
again, I feel like, you're raised to live your passions and to kind of follow you. And for a lot of us, especially people, like me, Asians, like Asian Americans, I'm first generation, so we have a lot more pressure under us, and so we're not able to pursue what we would love to. But it's beautiful that you have that inner peace and awareness that I want people to know that you can cultivate that if that's what you truly want. And I used to get annoyed with people too. And I think teenagers, right? Teenagers are always like that. You're not the most mindful. You're always worrying about you and yourself and your looks, and it's always about you, you, you. But it's like, okay, maybe this person's having a bad day and we really honestly don't know what's going on. Everybody has something going on. So that's beautiful that you shared that you have compassion for others. That is hard to practice though. So what tips do you have? How did you actually cultivate that for yourself though? Like besides having that phrase, how do you practice that every single day for yourself?
Yeah, so my practice looks like meditation. I do some form of meditation every day. And then journaling, scripting, that's really helpful. I don't do scripting every day, but usually a little journal, anywhere from 5 minutes to sometimes like 30 minutes, just depending on how I'm feeling. And it's not always in the morning. So that's the thing too. So, those two things, as well as doing EFT tapping sometimes and spending a lot of time outside, just kind of grounding myself. Doing like yoga outside is really nice, or going for walks. I have this thing, and I call myself a drinky instead of a foodie. So you will always see me with a drink. Right now, I have my water. But I find so much just comfort and just going somewhere, getting a matcha, getting coffee, getting boba, getting juice. Like I just any drink, I am like all for it. So I also kind of use that as my little treat, and it's just something to look forward to. And it's not a big thing, but it's just something small that I actually enjoy. And it just kind of makes me like, okay, like this is my little moment throughout the day, no matter what else is going on. So I think that also has really helped me to just be more mindful in general because I'm always associating my drinky phase
Oh.
to, just really kind of slowing down for myself during that day.
I love that, drinky, because
Yeah.
I'm a foodie, so I'm going to use
Yeah.
that now. I love
Mhm.
that. Oh,
Yeah.
I know it is hard though, but
Yeah.
finding something that makes you truly happy. And so this is why, I want to ask the next question that
Yeah.
in our busy lives, being present can be a challenge and it feels like you're in the present moment, right? Like,
Yeah.
how do you stay present, truly appreciate life on a daily basis, especially during difficult times? And you kind of gave a tip right now, that you look forward your drinky, but
Yeah.
besides that, how did you actually find that? And how did you actually know that that made you happy? Because a lot of people, for example, me, I'm going to use me. I'm not going to speak for others, but it was hard to find what truly made me happy because I'm such a people pleaser that I thought certain things truly made me happy because that's what I thought I was trained or that's what my mind thought I needed to be, right? But then little things started shifting for me to actually truly know and understand myself like, oh, that actually doesn't make me happy. I'm doing it because it makes other people happy.
Yeah.
What I'm saying.
Mhm.
It sounds kind of crazy now saying it out loud. But finding my own happiness was hard. So how did you truly find that for yourself?
Yeah, so I feel like I was kind of like Bambi, like I'm on thin ice, I'm trying to get my footing because growing up, I always recognized, my own interests and my own needs, and I was, quote unquote selfish. And it was made out to be this like bad thing. And I dealt with a lot of like back and forth, like this internal battle of, okay, am I on the right path because this is what is making me happy. I'm taking time to learn the stuff that I want to learn, to spend my time doing things that I enjoy, or should I, start to kind of shy away from that and help more people and do the things that people are saying I should do. So I was always kind of battling between those two. And there was a period in time, this was, oh my gosh, I want to say like my early 20s, kind of late teens, like into 20s, that I started to put other people before me.
Mhm.
And that was because I wanted to help out. I wanted to help my family. I wanted to help friends. I wanted to be that dependable person, and I am still dependable, but I make sure that I'm filling my cup first. Because I know I can't help other people if I'm not help myself. So I think before I was always like, oh, am I on the right path or not? And now I'm like, I'm 100% confident in the fact that I have to show up for myself first and foremost, and then I can help others. So, what that looks like for me is on a daily basis, I do not check my social media, which is it's crazy because I actually I'm trained in marketing and social media. So I have clients that I'll do that stuff for, but I myself, this is why getting in touch with me like through Instagram DMs is like a nightmare. And I've had people that, some people don't understand it, other people they do, or they're accepting of it, which is, their choice. But those little things have helped me to just really put the focus on myself and what it is I need to get done for my goals. I also do this thing called like hibernation, so kind of like the winter arc right now that everybody's talking about. So I will literally just kind of go off the grid and not be available for certain things, And at first I had a little bit of like that FOMO, like, oh, I want to do everything, but I just recognize that I can't do everything all at once, all at the same time. And sometimes if I'm really in the thick of, working towards my goals, I have to choose me. I have to choose my goals first and foremost. And I will tell you, I'll tell anybody, it's not easy. It's not easy to know that there's so much stuff going on that, your friends are out having a great time and you're at home or you're at the library studying or just, working on your goals. It's not easy, but it's worth it, I believe. And I do offer myself balance. So it's not like I'm, again, just my nose in the book or whatever, just kind of grinding all the time. I do offer the balance, but it's just I prioritize my goals first, and then I make sure that that balance is still conducive to those goals and conducive to, what I want for myself. So I don't allow myself to get too far off track. I will have fun, but I make sure I'm always prioritizing my goals first and foremost.
Wow, you're such an inspiration. That's powerful that you prioritize your goals first and you prioritize yourself first. And that is hard for a lot of people to do because we live in a society that really cares about what other people think about you.
Yeah.
That's like a mindset that you've had to create or like to actually you know, build towards that, which is amazing. I love your mindset because when you have a goal, it's hard to get because everybody's like, oh, like I have to do this and that to get that goal. But you're like, no, I'm spending quality time doing the things that once I get that goal, you know, you're going to be able to play and still do the balance. And that's awesome. How did you actually, you know, really get that mindset?
Yeah.
That's very powerful.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like I got that mindset back when I graduated high school and I was kind of in this limbo. So I took a couple of gap years.
Mhm.
And during that time, I was helping family, which I do not regret one bit. But there was a period during that time that I just said to myself, okay, this is it. I will not take any more time off of my schooling, off of my goals. I will make sure that I'm okay first, and then I can better help everybody else around me. And that is what I did. I committed to myself, and I have to commend, younger Bree for acknowledging, that my goals were more important because, this is a time where early 20s, all you want to do typically is like party and have a good time. Like you're not serious about anything. But I was very adamant that, okay, this is the life that I want for myself, and this is what I will make happen. And I've committed to that since. And it definitely was challenging, especially when you're telling people no, constantly when they're inviting you to stuff and they're always questioning, like, oh, why are you always doing this? Like, why do you always go to the library? I still go to the library to this day. I'm actually at the library now. Um, but I made that decision for myself, and I feel like it was something that, I'm so fortunate to have done. I honestly don't know what it was that really like brought on that shift. Besides me just kind of discovering people who they were doing things that society told them to do, like working, and they kind of neglected their schooling. And I seen that and I thought, oh, I don't want that. But it was definitely probably a combination of that, as well as like really what I wanted for myself and being able to see that, luckily at such an early age, and just again making that decision. And I feel like that kind of ties into this thing about people feeling motivated versus being disciplined. And it's like, if you're disciplined, that's who you are, that's what you do. You don't have to think about it. And that is what I have decided for myself. And I try to do my very best to, project that onto other people, not in this, you know, overbearing way, but in this way of like, hey, this is an option. You can do this too. And it doesn't have to be as hard as you might think. It can be flexible and easy and fun, but you have to decide that first, like in your head and in your heart, and then it will become your reality.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Thank you for sharing that because it's beautiful to actually get a true example of how when you put yourself first and when you shift your mindset to set up a goal, it can be accomplished if that's what you truly believe. And you had so much confidence in yourself. I think that's another piece that is part of the puzzle, right? You have to be confident in your decisions when you have to say no to other people. You're like questioning yourself. That you're like, wait, everybody's doing this and that, but then like I'm saying no, and then they're telling me like, why are you doing this and that? You know, putting peer pressure. And it's wild that you were able to overcome that at such a young age too, in your 20s. Like, wow, I commend you. I'm not gonna lie, I was under peer pressure. I partied it up and do the typical stuff in your 20s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so how do you feel like when you made those decisions in your 20s and then now wherever you're at now in your life, do you feel like you've actually expedited your goals or you know how you really see your life being as or you know in general all those sacrifices actually were beneficial for you in the end.
Oh, definitely. I would 100% say they have been very beneficial. And I feel like, I'm on this journey, like it's never ending. So it's just helped me to develop these habits that I'm taking through life. And everyone that comes across my path, they're kind of affected. And I say that because back in May, I had a birthday party and one of my friends was there and she said how, ever since she's been in my life and we've known each other for almost 2 years now, I think. Yeah, almost 2 years. And she was saying that ever since she's been in my life, like she's improved and I challenge people to improve and to, want better for themselves. And that was just so nice to hear because sometimes when you're, interacting with people on a day-to-day, maybe personal level, you don't always think that you're making an impact. For people that come to me for coaching, for workshops and things like that, obviously I'm expecting them to leave with something, hopefully leave better than, they came in with. But to hear somebody in my personal life say that was just so nice because I know that I'm a particular way and I know that I'm very like dead set on my beliefs and my, values and how I do things, but I didn't realize that it really had that big of an impact on people in my personal life. Um, so yeah, I really like that.
It's so true. However, like your belief and how you show up, others see that. It's like your energy, right? You're putting out this positive energy, and the people around you see it, even though they don't say it. And I always have to think about that because of my 2-year-old. She sees everything I do. So even if I cuss, she will get that. So I'm like, oh, okay. I gotta, really watch what I say. But it is so rewarding because when you are doing the right things and you get confirmation from your loved ones, it's so powerful. It hits your heart in a different way. I guess it hits your soul because I had that happen to me too, where I'm like doing all these things in my business and eating healthier, and it's hard. It's a lot of hard work. And I went through infertility, so all my friends and family know I struggle a lot, but I'm still showing up. I'm still doing the things that I love. And when they tell me like, "Wow, I'm so proud of you that you overcame all this," or like you did the bean protocol and you're eating healthy. I'm doing that too. And getting the results that they want. It's beautiful. And it's like, wow, me just doing my own thing can really impact others. And that's what I want people to know is you have the power within you. Like if you just work on yourself, you give yourself self-love, self-care, that's the energy you're giving off to the world and the people around you. So you have more positivity and you bring that into your life. And so if you're people pleasing and you're worrying about other people, that is literally everybody else's energy and negativity that's not within your control. But all you can do is control your own self. And so you're literally the example of that, which is so beautiful. And you already started that in your 20s. And I was like, whoa, I commend you for that. So, it is possible. It is possible to actually live the life that you desire, right? So, gratitude is something you emphasize in your practice. So, how has practicing gratitude changed your life? And how do you encourage others to incorporate it into their daily routines?
Hmm. You know, with gratitude, I like to look at like the little things. I know it sounds like so cheesy, but one of the things that I love is when I'm driving, and I live in like Southern California. So when I'm driving, I always love looking at the trees. And it's so weird to me because this was around this time last year. I was up in Ventura, so closer to I don't know if you're familiar with like Santa Barbara area, but closer to that area. And I was in this town that I'd never gone to. And I seen this sign that said Tree City, USA. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. This is a tree city. Like, what is that about? So I literally Google everything. So I Google that, and then I see all of these cities that are tree cities. And then I was driving maybe a few months after. I was closer to Long Beach, I seen that the city called Lakewood is a tree city. I was driving and I'm in like Torrance, like closer to LAX. I see that the city called Torrance is a tree city. And I'm like, huh, I've never noticed those tree city signs before, but now it's like they're popping up everywhere. And, again, I've been slowing down and really, cognizant of more things going on around me. And that was just one of the things. And I thought, wow, this is crazy because I've always appreciated the beauty of the trees. Um, and it's just, it's something that's so little. And I started looking at the trees honestly because in LA, it's not what you see on TV. So there is garbage and debris and stuff all in the street. So I thought, let's focus on like the beauty here, which, this is a really nice city. I have to admit that it's a nice city. There are nice people, but the trees have just been really nice, especially all the palm trees. Like I love it. So that was something small that I started to do, and now I'm noticing all those tree city signs everywhere. But I would tell people to just look at little things. It doesn't have to be this big thing that you are, expressing gratitude for. It could be something as simple as like waking up, as simple as your bed, having, your basic needs met, shelter, water, food, especially in, today's time when people are going without that. So just taking everything in and being really appreciative and grateful for the things that a lot of times, especially as like Americans, we can take for granted. So just slowing down and thinking about, okay, do I have loved ones who are safe and healthy? Am I healthy? Do I have a car to get me, to and from wherever I want to go? Do I have like the ability to walk if I want to? Do I have skills? So it's all of these little things that we can just stop and think about and just, bask in just this amazingness of being able to do it, living in this time where, you and I can connect over Zoom, is incredible. So just being really appreciative of the things that we have in our day-to-day lives that might not seem like a big deal to us, but for others could mean the world.
Yeah, that's so true. I believe this so much because same thing. I used to never practice gratitude, and I think gratitude is such a powerful tool if you really want to start changing your mindset from like negative to positivity. And just saying, so every like this is a new practice that I've done. Actually, not new, but I wake up every morning and I go to sleep at least saying three things I'm grateful for, and I feel like that has actually made a shift into being more positive and already starting the day in a positive note. And just being grateful for little things. And I think I told you the story, right? Just same thing like you, looking at the trees. I went for a walk one day without carrying my phone, and I saw all these flowers. And on the same walk, mind you, that I did for like 2, 3 months. Never noticed there was the flowers. And then I didn't bring it. I was like, whoa, there's beautiful flowers, like literally the whole walk around the neighborhood. And I was like, this is so pretty. What am I doing on my phone? And so now every time I see flowers, anywhere. I appreciate it. I like literally bask in the flowers and I try to like take a no, I roll around in it. No, I'm just kidding. But I just appreciate it. I look at the colors. I look at like each petal and like it's beautiful. And practicing gratitude may sound silly to people, right? But it's so powerful. You think it's a powerful tool, right? To
Oh,
shift your life and your mindset.
abs- absolutely, because then you start focusing on what is going right. You focus on like the good because it's so easy to get caught up in what's not going right, wondering like, why does my life not look how I thought it would look? And, all of that stuff. But when you start to focus on what is going right, then I feel like you just open up, yourself for more opportunities and you become like magnetic to things that might not have happened otherwise.
Yeah, it's so true. And I really honestly believe in this so much because I'm really into manifestation. And every time you listen to anybody speaking about manifesting, they're like, you have to be grateful. You have to like be in this high vibration to manifest the things you want. And the thing is, we are actually manifesting on a daily basis. Even if it's negative or positive things, whatever you're thinking or whatever energy you have right now is manifesting. So,
Yeah.
right, if you're in a gratitude state, you're in a positive, higher vibration, you're going to manifest the things that you want, and that's how it works.
Yes, exactly. And it's like that is the secret.
Yeah.
And people just do not understand. They're like, oh no, it has to be more complicated. And I'm like, no, it can be simple. So,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
I've noticed is we're taught that everything has to be complicated or you have to work really, really hard in order for you to obtain just something in your life.
Yeah.
But they don't teach us the little simple tools is actually what gets you the furthest. Just
Yeah.
like dieting or whatever, that doesn't work, right? But little daily habits in your daily life will change your life,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
Hmm. It is.
So um, I want to ask, what are your non-negotiables every day for like your daily habits? And what are your rituals that help you stay aligned with your inner peace and personal growth every day?
Hmm. So my non-negotiables are always having time to myself in the morning. Now, I'm not married, I don't have children, I live with my sister, but even when I'm on like a vacation, so I'm getting ready to go on vacation with my sister, my parents, and every time I take time in the morning for myself to just meditate, to get ready, to ease into the day. So that is my absolute non-negotiable. I don't care where I am, who I'm with. I ease into my day. There's no jumping out of bed and, putting on clothes and like rushing out the door. Like, no, nope, nope. I like to ease. So that's my non-negotiable.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I think meditation is such a powerful tool.
Yeah.
I noticed that too again. So I have Gemma, she's a 2-year-old. And so for the last 2 years, I always put her first. Like right when she wakes up, I'll wake up, get her ready, and then I don't even care about myself. And I noticed I became more snappier. And then I was like,
Mhm.
I need something to change. Like I cannot start the day off like this. I know. And so I started meditating in the mornings before she woke up, like maybe 10 minutes before she woke up. And man,
Yeah.
it's a game changer. It really is. Like you really put yourself in a calm state and like your mental well-being is much better. Instead of like
Yeah.
waking up to do like on the go, 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 that's what you're setting the tone for the day. And yeah, that's a beautiful practice. And I would just want people to know that meditating is a powerful tool. And how did you figure out that meditating, really helped in your daily routine and helped you in your practice and being, and showing up, being the best version of yourself you can be?
Yeah. So, I've done meditation on and off for a few years. And initially, I started with guided meditation because, like most people, I thought, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I started out with the guided meditations and I really liked that. But then I wanted something else. And this kind of happened around the time where I realized, well, if I'm taking in a ton of content from other people, if I'm constantly, listening to what other people are saying, doing things how they suggest doing it, I'm getting lost. My magic and authenticity is not being, shown. So I went to train with the transcendental meditation people, got training in TM, and I was doing twice a year for a little while. And then I went down to one time a year, or sorry, twice a year. Oh my gosh, twice a day. And went down to like one time a day. And now there are mornings where I do TM and it's so great. And other times where maybe I don't have 20 minutes. So I'll do a 5-minute little meditation. And that just is me sitting there, just observing what's going on around me in terms of like the sound, like what can I feel, what can I smell, what can I taste if I had like, maybe water or something. Usually it's nothing, just morning breath, honestly. And what can I see around me? And it just really helps me to just take everything in at that moment and just like, okay, I can breathe and then think about easing into my day.
Love that. I love
Yeah.
that so much. Ooh, and you mentioned all the senses. Like
Yeah.
That's a powerful, that's another powerful tool that I want people to know that you can take all your senses and it does help with the meditation and to help you put your state in, like your stress and your body in a calmer state, which is so powerful.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you
Yeah,
for sharing that. I love that tip.
sure.
So, when you're coaching clients who are just beginning their journey, what's the first piece of advice you give them for cultivating peace and positivity in their lives?
Ooh, definitely to have some sort of accountability partner.
Mm.
And I say that because most times when we don't have somebody who is in our corner that understands what it is that we want for ourselves, what we're going through, we get caught up in people who they want the best for us, but they don't understand things. And their beliefs and their fears and judgments can sometimes get passed on to us and cause us to feel like maybe we're doing something wrong or we're going crazy. So having an accountability partner is really like my first step, whether that's me as the coach or somebody else that they can trust that actually is kind of on that same path as them, but somebody who can really kind of serve as like a sounding board. So that way, you're on the right track and you're doing the things you're supposed to be doing for yourself and you're not, giving in to that people pleasing energy.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Thank you for that tip. It is so true. That's having accountability partner is such a powerful tool, and you don't even think about how that can really shift and change your life. Because if you have a coach or if you have a friend, they're gonna give you that pressure in a good way though, to actually do the things and to change your like perspective of like, oh, I can't do it. They're there to
Yeah,
motivate you. They're like your biggest cheerleader, right? So you're just like, okay, you're more likely gonna do it instead of like, all right, no one's holding me accountable. I can get away with it. I'm
yeah,
just gonna do whatever I keep doing and the old habits that I keep doing, right? And nothing's gonna change. And then you ask why your life never changes. It's because you're not changing.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. That is good. Thank you for that.
of
So, to
course.
wrap up, what message or advice would you give to listeners who are ready to invest in themselves but may not know where to start when it comes to inner peace and mindset work?
Mm, what message to give to them? To definitely take moments to just breathe. And I feel like that's the easiest thing, whether you're at work and you have to step into the restroom, excuse yourself, just take moments to breathe and not just be so like tense in your body and just like anxious, rushing from one meeting to the next. Like, really
Hmm.
just breathe, take deep breaths. I think a lot of us forget to do that, as crazy as it sounds. So definitely breathing would definitely be my number one thing. And I feel like it's very easy and accessible to anyone, and it doesn't take long at all.
Yeah, it's about like 10 long breaths that would really shift your from your from having high cortisol levels, stress levels, and then to actually putting it to a calmer stress level. So it's a powerful thing. Breath work is really powerful. I notice that sometimes I'll get overwhelmed and have anxiety and I'll like, okay, take breaths. And
Yeah.
then immediately I'm like, oh, I feel so much better. Okay, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for letting me take that breath.
Yeah.
And I have asthma too, so when I can't breathe, I'm like, like it's the worst feeling ever when you can't breathe.
Yep.
So if you can breathe easily and you don't have asthma, breathe. Okay?
Yep.
Reminder, breathe. Just
Yes.
kidding. Great tool, tip. Thank you for that. And last but not least, where can people find you more and any last things that you would like the listeners to know?
Ooh, okay. So I am on TikTok and Instagram. So I think I'll give you the links so you can put it
Yeah,
in
I'll
the
put in the show notes below.
yeah, but I do have like just one overall link that includes my social media links, as well as some links to resources that I offer, such as a free EFT tapping script for confidence. And then I have my like best self bundle, which includes like a morning ritual breakdown, affirmations for mirror work, which is another powerful practice, and also a link to schedule a coffee chat with me. So, yeah.
Oh, perfect. I'll put all of that in information below. And thank you so much for today. This was such an amazing conversation. I loved your knowledge and all the tips that you gave us today. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.